Hey guys, today we're going to have a little cultural lesson about something that I happen to know a little bit about personally, that happens pretty frequently in Korea, well, kind of frequently in Korea, that I think you should know about. So the 주인공, the main character, the star of today's disaster epic, is an event that happened here in my beloved adopted hometown of Busan called the 2025 세계 라면 축제, or in the language of freedom, the 2025 World Ramyeon Festival. And yes, this is ramyeon, not ramen. I know in English we usually say ramen, but I like to think of ramen as like the Japanese dish and ramyeon as the more instant, spicy kind of stuff that we do here in Korea. And by the way, if you disagree with me on that, you're an imperialist and a colonizer. So let's just look at the name of the event one more time. 세계 라면 축제. This is the World Ramyeon Festival. Here's what it looked like.
사고다. 어제 여긴 비가 많이 왔나 보네. 그렇죠.
이게 무슨 축제고. 와, 미친놈들 아이가.
So the phenomenon that we're going to talk about today is the global event that nobody asked for. Let's do a quick survey of the damage here. I wanted to take a look at a news article for this, and 조선일보 was the longest one I could find, so I apologize for using Korean Fox News, but, you know, it is what it is. So let's hit it with the kimchi reader up front. Bow! So we can start with the title. I think that has a lot to say. 10,000원 주고 난민 체험. 부산 세계 라면 축제 혹평속 종료. So pay 10,000 won, like 7 or 8 US dollars, for a refugee or refugee camp experience. The Busan World Ramen Festival ends amid severe criticism. Or to say it all a little faster, I paid 10,000 won for a refugee camp experience. The Busan World Ramen Festival ends amid severe criticism. The first line of the article is basically the same as the subtitle. I guess we could translate this first line as the World Ramyeon Festival held in Busan ended prematurely after continuous or endless poor reviews or criticism. 축제 기간 내내, so throughout the entire festival period, 부실한 행사 준비와 운영으로 방문객들로부터 평점 1점도 아깝다는 불만이 이어졌다. So citing poor management and preparation, some customers were quoted saying, even 1 star is generous. And it continues, 이번 축제와 관련해 책임 공방이 불가피할 전망이다. So a battle or a blame game over who ends up being responsible for this event appears to be inevitable. Now, I have a lot to say about this event, and there's a lot of other red flags in this thing, but the very first glaring warning sign, radioactive hazardous material ahead, do not step here, there's landmines, red flag that caught my attention was this word right here, 미슐랭. The word 미슐랭 is the Korean transliteration, I guess you could say, of the word Michelin in English, like a Michelin star. And the reason that word caught my attention is because my work experience in Korea is actually in this industry, the big event planning industry. I've worked as both a translator and a planner for these kinds of events in a bunch of different fields. And when I see the word Michelin pop up in an event, especially one that's not going well, I know what happened. Well, in the off chance that I'm wrong here, let's just say I can take a good guess at what happened in Minecraft based on my experience of seeing how this stuff goes. So Korea spends a lot of money on the MICE industry through the government. The MICE industry is meetings, incentives, conventions or conferences, and events. So basically it's like the kind of thing that brings you the ball pit at TumblerCon. Not always, but generally this industry is operated pretty much completely top down, like everything in Korea. But the government, all different kinds of government agencies, from city level government to provincial level government or provincial level cities like Busan, to national level government like ministries or even like the national government itself. So what they do is they contract out the actual planning and operation work of these things to companies that can allegedly handle that work and have the staffing and connections to make it happen. And they run a bidding process to see who's going to get that contract. And then, it becomes a business relationship in that way as well. But the problem here is that the government has its own set of like KPIs, key performance indicators that they're trying to meet, whether it's for their direct boss or it's some politician who has a pet project that they're funding with our tax dollars. The event itself is usually something that like nobody's asking for. So it's this consumer facing product that has to sell, is getting paid for by the government, but nobody was asking for it. So when these events don't have like, sold out tickets and like lines down the block for people to get in, people start screaming from the top down, what happened? You did a bad job. You wasted our money, blah, 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 blah. But like I said, there's these KPIs, right? These key performance indicators that the government officials or whoever is really focused on getting. And those KPIs tend to be international recognition of things in Korea. So of course, what's the one food award that people in Korea are aware of? The Michelin star. It's also the only food award that I'm aware of, so maybe it's the only one out there. But as an internationally recognized thing, of course, that increases Korea's soft power in the eyes of some bureaucrat somewhere. And so Michelin something in Korea equals Korea getting more soft power equals international relations policies of Korea, successful, promotion please. So the problem is with these events that aren't going very well because nobody's asking for them, but they're trying to get these international recognition things shoehorned in there, is that they would probably work if we focused on authenticity, if we were focusing on things that people actually wanted or things that Korea is actually doing well that the rest of the world is interested in. So I really think that this industry specifically kind of falls into that like dark triad. You ever heard of the dark triad personality? Let me look that up real quick. Yeah, here, look. The dark triad refers to a cluster of 3 negative personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. So I think that Korean event planning is kind of in this like dark triad of negative things in Korea, all coming together to be a triple threat of disaster. Putting together a huge consumer-facing event is an expensive and a complex process. So the first problem being that it's expensive means that the politics of this whole thing are pretty high stakes. And the second problem is that because it's complicated, that does not mix very well with Korean culture in any way. Korea's culture is very much shaped like this. It is a vertical hierarchy in social situations and organizational situations. The people at the top, specifically the person at the top, has the final say on everything, every detail. What the king says goes. But along with what the leader says goes, the leader also sometimes gets put into a situation where there's a new leader above them who then changes what that leader was being a tyrant about before, and everyone underneath just has to react and also be responsible for making those huge changes. So we've got the organizational problem and the political problem, and then the final thing is just capitalism itself. Sorry, I know. So saying capitalism is the third part of the triad is because there's a just fundamental misalignment between the government wanting to get certain things to happen and not caring if anyone was asking for them to happen or if there's any authentic demand, and then them contracting that out to a private company who can actually deliver on planning a large event and wants to make money. Public organizations have an incentive to spend as much money as they're given, because if they don't spend all of that money, they're not going to get that much in next year's budget, because whoever's making the budget is going to say, oh, we don't need to spend that much there this year. They're not even using it. Whereas companies obviously want to spend as little as possible and cut corners wherever they can because, they want to keep as much of the money as they can. So to sum things up, basically, every single decision needs to happen from the top down. Nobody's asking for the events that are getting funded by the government, and the incentives of the contractors and the government are like completely misaligned in every single way. So once I saw this and the red flag-o-meters started going off, the previous sentence started looking different to me as well. So it's saying that the organizers of the event, which is being held for the first time this year, advertised or promoted that the top domestic brands, 국내 대표 라면 브랜드, along with Japanese, Thai, Vietnamese, American, French, etc., 15 countries from all over the world will bring a total of 2,200 different types of ramyeon that people can taste at their event. Sorry, that translation kind of went off the wheels there because I was reading it in real time. But when I start seeing these different countries being listed specifically, but not all of them, as well as 2,200 different types of ramyeon you can try, and not any specific sponsor of any specific ramyeon brand from the domestic market, I recognize that this was likely trying to hit some KPIs for number of countries participated or types of ramyeon that were available. Look, we're international. We have Michelin star awards, and we have 15 different countries that came all the way to our city to do this, and we have 2,200 different kinds of ramyeon you can try. But I imagine that a lot of this was just checking boxes to meet the requirements of some kind of grant or some kind of report that needed to be written. And maybe that's a better way to talk about this whole thing in general. Just my opinion that a lot of these events are held for the report they will generate, not the actual event itself. The article continues saying that there were only 2 types of ramyeon on the opening day, and when they added more brands later on, they had some ramyeon from Thailand and Vietnam that's already available here in Korea anyway. It wasn't like specially imported for the event or anything. Some of these quotes here were kind of funny here. It says, 축제장을 찾은 방문객들은 살면서 최악의 축제, 편의점보다 종류가 더 없다. So this is the worst festival I've ever been to in my entire life. There are less types of ramyeon here than 편의점, the convenience store. 돈 주고 난민 체험을 했다. I paid to have a refugee camp experience. 제2의 잼버리 사태라는 악평도 있었다. If you guys know anything about the 잼버리, the Boy Scout World Jamboree or whatever it's called, they had like the international Boy Scout meetup here in Korea, and it was basically the exact same level of unplanned, unmitigated disaster. Anyway, back to this. It says 방문객들이 매기는 인터넷 평점은 5점 만점에 0.7점으로 1점도 되질 않는다. So attendees leaving internet reviews, out of a 5-star review, it didn't even reach 1 star, having 0.7 stars as its final rating. So I thought it might be fun to just go straight to the source and look at their website to see what's going on, get a little lay of the land. And I found something kind of funny. So if we come down here, we have a bunch of photos, right? Well, something caught my eye right away. Japan, Korea, Thailand. Okay. Also, what's going on with homie's face over here? Here's another great one. We've got Japan, Korea, some horrifying faces here and here. I don't know what's going on. She's eating a taco. Oh, perfect. The 2020 V-World Ramen Festival. We have the 세계 라면 축제 and the 세계 ramen global festfall. I don't know. Lots of people with ones in the air. Homegirl's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 fingers. This guy's chopping up ramen noodles like maybe a nice loaf of sourdough. This guy's face really spoke to me. This picture is somebody cooking spaghetti, so I don't know what's going on there. Beep beep update. So literally while I was filming this video, they changed the website. Like I was looking at a page and then I got booted out to this here. They have uploaded their 공식 사과문, their official apology. Now you can read the whole thing for yourself, but I think the important thing, just for my purposes here, is down here at the bottom. 본 축제는 순수 민간 자본으로 제작된 민간 축제입니다. So they're saying that this was an entirely privately funded and privately planned event. They did not get any government funding to run this thing, and we take full responsibility, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Maybe they didn't get money directly from the government. That's fine. They did have some partners that definitely get money from the government in some way or another, and that money might have been for running an event or some kind of thing, and then they contracted out a company to actually plan the event for them in order to use the money that they got from the government. So there's layers of separation. That kind of stuff could happen. I don't know if it did happen. I'm not saying it did. By the way, if you're interested in news stories and hearing this kind of context that makes the news stories make more sense, and also, staying up to date on what's going on in Korea, I've recently launched a new content service on our website, koreanpatch.co, called 주간 통신, or in English, it's called the Weekly Dispatch. What I do with the Weekly Dispatch is once a week send out a newsletter via email and also post it as blog posts on the website of 2 real Korean news stories that I think matter, that are kind of representative of what's going on in Korea this week. But I rewrite each real news story into an intermediate and a beginner level version. So it's like a news article graded reader. So every single week, you get 2 brand new stories at both the intermediate and beginner level with links to the original article that I based the new article on. Every article also comes with a study guide that has stuff like commentary from me and more context about this sort of stuff, why this story is important and things like that. I'd really appreciate it if you guys checked it out, if it sounds like something interesting to you. It's the best way to support the channel right now. Okay, that's going to be it for today. I just wanted to break out the white t-shirt and do a little, Moist Critical cosplay and share a little goof and gaff with you guys. See you guys later. Bye.